Welcome to Saturday versus Sunday. I'm John Barbin. With me is Jeff Dover. Let's talk football.
We're a couple of average football fans that watch college, the NFL. We hope to earn your like and subscribe today. This is our review of the Ohio State-Indiana game. What are your initial thoughts?
I mean, well, they did it. They won the Big Ten for the first time since, the 60s or something like that?
Yeah, this looked like the two best teams in the country going at it, like from beginning to end. Like the really high quality, and if you had the under, you weren't sweating at all this game.
Yeah, I mean, and both of these teams have been led by their defense all year. Now, IU also has a stellar offense, but when they had to win rock fights, they won rock fights, so they could do it both ways. And this was every bit of a rock fight.
Well, and it was a bend but don't break defense because they gave up some yards. Like there was both quarterbacks and running backs, I think, were, you would say, had like good games, like reasonably successful running and passing the ball. It just didn't lead to scoring. So like, which really tells you, like you said, the defenses for both teams really stood out.
Yeah, Bo Jackson for Ohio State had, first of all, your last name's Jackson and you name your kid Bo, and it turns out to be a running back. Like that's all right. You went there. Okay.
Yeah.
So he had 83 yards, which is, the team total's 58 because all of the sacks Sayin took go against the team total. But
I think his middle name's Lamar too, eh? It's like Bo Lamar Jackson, I think. Yeah.
Oh, they're really laying into it then. No, good for them. Okay. So my note here says Bo Jackson looks like he's a shoestring tackle away from breaking every single run.
Yeah, absolutely. Really talented freshman. His speed doesn't go down easy, and again, I'm worried if his progression keeps going, like the improving, that those are going to be going for more touchdowns later, and he still ran for 1,000 yards, I think, this year. So he's really good.
It just looked like they were just getting him at the last second because I was shocked at the running total for Ohio State at the end of the game. I thought, what, really? And they flashed a graphic up somewhere in the third quarter, and Ohio State had 40 yards or something terrible like that. But to me, I guess I was just thinking each time Jackson got tackled, I thought, oh God, that was close to going. Every single time. It's like, oh, but now go ahead.
He ran for 17 times for 83 yards. So that's not bad. It's a 4.9 average, but Sayin went for minus 29. So that's why as a team, they only rushed for 58. So that's why that looks worse than it did.
Now, to be fair, Black and Hemby both had a couple like that too, where they got to the hole and it's like, oh man, there's nobody there. And there's nobody really at the second level to stop them. But that somebody on the Ohio State defensive line would get him at the shoestrings. Yeah. They'd also get knocked down. Now, both of them Black broke a 37-yard run. I think Jackson had a decent one too. Yeah, he had a 20-yarder. So every now and then they would get loose, but I mean, the defensive lines specifically to me were the actual story of this entire game. Yeah. This guy Curry, what the hell?
My goodness.
Now, that's a first round draft pick right
he's
there.
An absolute monster. Like really, he's a problem. No, for me, you're right. The stars really are that if the game ball goes to the defensive line, like for both teams, it's true. To me, though, the player of the game the note that I had here was Fernando Mendoza, because first of all, I was so worried after the opening hit, after what happened in the BYU game, right? Because we just did the review of the BYU Texas Tech game. Go back and listen to that one if you haven't listened to it already, where after Bachmeier got hurt, it was really a different team, and it didn't feel like they had the offense in front of them. And, and you pointed to, you had a good point about the, limiting what you could run now, like with him being hurt. So I was so worried after watching that game, what a non-game that was, that if Fernando went out in the beginning, that this was going to be like that again. And it wasn't. And not only that, I really felt like in the fourth quarter when they had to have first downs, right? Because it was only a 3-point lead and they had to have first downs, and Fernando got it done. And passing, had to have it passes. And that was amazing player by him.
Yeah, even though when you look at the box score, Sayin has more yards than him.
Yeah.
And those also came a lot of them came at the end of the game. It seemed as though the passes that mattered to win this game, Mendoza was getting more of them at the end of the game. Like you said, Yeah, this is one where the box score doesn't reveal, at least
No.
between the two QBs. It's like, really? Because I know that the broadcast said, oh, they played to a draw. I'm like, get out of here. Mendoza killed him. And then it's
Yeah.
like, oh, geez, no, Sayan outpassed him. He was
Hmm.
also very efficient. They both threw one pick each, fine. But yeah, but anyone who watched saw, oh yeah, Mendoza won this game at the end. If you were going to say one of the QBs, quote unquote, won the game for their team.
Yeah. No, normally it's like your QB has to get you in a position to get a field goal or a touchdown at the end to win, which he did, and in the Penn State game, I think, or whatever, so he can do that. But like it was clear in this one because this was such a low scoring game, and just to get the first down to really ice it was, that was, he played really well.
Yeah. I mean,
And coming back from like that potential injury or whatever it was that, if he just got rocked for a bit there, but yeah.
Becker.
Oh,
So Cooper goes out relatively early in the game, which was a total bummer, because you just want to see the best players stay in the game and
yes.
play each other heads up, and best man wins. You don't want to
Mhm.
see, oh well, like especially when Mendoza got hurt. I thought same thing. I was like, this is gonna suck. Like I actually want to see the two best teams battle it out at full strength here,
especially after what happened to the BYU Texas Tech
right?
thing. Like I didn't want to watch that again.
No, and is on the very first play.
Yeah.
So, but Cooper went out, and it's not surprising if you've been paying attention to IU that Becker just went off.
Yeah.
He did this earlier in the season when Surratt was out, and Becker was just. I mean, they have 3 star receivers.
Yes.
There's no other way to say it.
No, and we've talked about that before. When your number one goes down, like what is it? It can shift things a lot just because your number 2 might not be a number 1 and your number 3 might not be a number 2, and that makes it really hard. But he was amazing, and hats off again to at the end of the game. Fernando was talking about all the time they spent together, all the time in the summer, like running extra routes, 7 a.m. on the Sunday, running extra routes, and that's really where it pays off because when you're playing a defense that good and the margin of between getting a pass completed or incomplete or batted down is so small, it's all that extra work that really got him to this point. So hats off to them because without that, they wouldn't have won this game.
Yeah. I have a note here saying towards the end of the game, or at least in the second half, they were getting Sayan out of the pocket. They were moving him around. He was becoming a lot more effective, kept finding the tight end in that short over route where they're both kind of running sideways. Yeah. So it seemed as though when he was trying to stay in the pocket in the first half, and Joel Klatt did a good job of pointing it out, the pre and post snap movement on the IU defense was totally confusing. I mean, he wasn't fully sure where to go with the ball, it looked like.
Yeah.
And in the second half, they were starting to sort that out and find where the open spaces really were.
Well, this was a really interesting chess match, between offense and defensive coordinator, because again, both offenses were moving the ball, but they just weren't scoring. And it's sort of how they were deciding to do that. At the beginning, I had the note where Indiana kept everyone in the box because they wanted to stop the run. That was apparent. And it was apparent that Jeremiah Smith and Tate were one-on-one on the outside. And for several possessions in a row, Smith was just wide open. Like the guy can't stay with him. And so like those things were open. And I'm like, this is going to be a long game if the wide receivers are going to be like that. And it's something about that mindset though. Like it's if it's working and the other team's not doing anything to stop it, like you just keep going with it. But it's like they don't want to do that. They don't want to abandon the run. They don't want to, throw it around that much. Right. Because man, it was really as a fan watching that and how open Smith was, I'm like, well, just keep doing that. Like, just keep doing it because they can't stop it. And they didn't really do that, which was interesting.
Well, they did show clips where he was double and triple teamed, and they did take him away on certain
plays. But it was.
Also, sometimes he was under enough pressure that
yes, that's true.
He didn't have the opportunity to get back to Smith or over to Smith, wherever Smith was in the progression. I mean, he still went 8 receptions for 144 yards.
Yeah.
He was still like one of the most productive offensive player between both teams, but it didn't feel like it. Like the way the game went, actually, because when I saw the box score on that too, I was like, really? Smith had 144? They didn't score a TD. Tate did get a TD here. But I just was surprised that it just didn't feel like he was the leading receiver between both. Becker felt like the leading receiver. Like if I think about the impact on the game, but there was that one play where Smith was just wide ass open down the field. And they had completely had a blown coverage on that 52-yarder.
Yeah. No, and this was, as I said at the open, like this looked like the two best teams in the country playing.
Mm-hmm.
And the margin were so small, catching the ball, making a tackle. Like you said, Bo Jackson always looked like he was just a shoestring tackle away from going
Mm-hmm.
from it. And it was really high quality football, offense and defense, to get any yards. And then it just looked like an absolute clown show in the kicking game for that to come down to Ohio State to tie it with a very, very makeable field goal. And it just looks so bad. And I'm like, man, so many players are playing so well, like saying Smith, the defensive line, like just high quality football. And then just to miss the chip shot. And you're like, gosh, Jesus, like that. It's so bad. So bad.
It's understandable if it's a long one, but
yes,
and it didn't get blocked or anything. Just missed it. I mean, I didn't check the replays to see if there was a bad snap or hold or anything. Didn't look like it. I think just missed it, and which is once in a while it happens. But on the 27-yard line, it happened.
It was really
that's bad.
No, it's really bad. So like that, I was just so disappointed because I feel really bad for the kicker. Like kicker, you can miss a kick. Like that can absolutely happen. But in a championship game, when the quality of play was so high, like for both teams, and like saying they had that early interception and then bounced back and had a really good game. And Fernando like got knocked down and came back and had a really good game. And then just for it really felt like it was decided on that missed kick at the end, which is really
when the defenses are playing. I mean, points were hard to come by. Kicks matter.
They were.
Kicks matter in this game. Oh boy.
Yeah. And we'd be talking about the Indiana guy who also missed one that was makeable, and we would be talking about that if Indiana didn't win either. Right. So
Okay, so I have a note here about the clock management at the end of the first half.
Oh, yeah, interesting.
What exactly was OSU doing? They were just burning clock. They were completely uninterested in driving the field.
Yeah,
it was almost as if they just assumed, let's just get into halftime. And it was, and even the announcers, Klatt was like, I don't exactly know what he's doing. And then when it was apparent they might not get it, then Indiana also wasn't calling timeout to try to buy themselves time to get the ball back. So both teams, I just have a huge question mark. Why is OSU letting the clock run out? They had the ball with almost the full 2 minutes left, or a bit more than 2 minutes, and they weren't interested at all in trying to go a 2-for-1, because don't they open the second half with the ball too or something?
Yeah. So
that was weird.
But I mean, I guess I know at that point it's 10-6, okay, and there's a little bit of time left, and I guess they're thinking within 4 points we can make that up, no problem. As I'm assuming that's what they were thinking, and they didn't want to risk making a mistake and giving Indiana the ball back with any time left at the end of the second quarter. So but I was with you. I was like, that could have been the nail in the coffin. We talk about the middle eight and the middle four, often, and to just get a couple of passes together, because again, some of the wide receivers were open, stringing a couple passes together to get a field goal chance, and then to get the ball back really would have felt like a back-breaking move in this game.
Yeah, I understand your point about not wanting to give the ball back, but you're the team that has Jeremiah Smith, not them.
Yeah, yes.
Right? No, okay. I don't want to undercut. You're right. I don't want to undercut Mendoza. He's good. No, maybe, and their receivers.
But in the first half, Smith and Tate were like they could get open. They could get open.
Yeah, I thought it was odd. I don't know. OU fans, what did you think? If you're watching here, like what? OSU fans, sorry, OSU fans. What is going on there? I just thought that was a really strange way to manage the clock. It's not like Indiana was shooting the lights out. If you gave the ball back, they had shown no ability to just march down the field. None of it made sense with the way the game was going. It seemed far too conservative. This might be, I'm guessing, I don't know, but I'm guessing Ohio State fans' chatter might be, here we go with Ryan Day being too conservative in a big game, when the other team was not showing any risk of moving the ball at that point. So,
well, and I tell you, comparing this game to the Duke Virginia game, it really felt it was quite different.
Oh yeah,
like Duke going for it on fourth down, fake punt, like which because they have nothing to lose. They're like 7-5 or whatever,
Yeah, oh,
right?
yeah.
Like it's so that you really if Ohio State was extra conservative, like and Duke was extra loose, rightfully so, but
Yeah.
it was really apparent the difference in that, like you're, like you said, not trying to, you have an extra possession, you get it after the second
Mm-hmm.
half, like it's, that's a very, very conservative way of going with it.
Way conservative. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously both defense. I mean, no, that doesn't make any sense either because both defenses were playing that. Your defense was holding them. Go for it.
Yes.
Go for
Yeah.
it here. I don't know. Obvious. Okay, so I guess
No,
the
they
other
had,
way.
yeah, Indiana didn't get a touchdown in the first half.
No.
So,
So I
yeah.
guess the other way to view it is whatever Indiana was doing on defense, Day and his staff weren't comfortable in that moment, changing for the last 2 minutes and just sort of going for it.
Yeah, I guess
And
so.
maybe they were needed to have a quick discussion at halftime. I know there's not a lot of time at halftime to make these halftime adjustments, but obviously something he just didn't like the idea of being super aggressive in those last few minutes, which is
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't get it, but whatever. That struck me as very odd. Okay, so there was what seems to have been a controversial call is the in the grass sack call.
Okay.
Now, if you watch the replay, it's quite apparent that the Ohio State lineman had the Indiana's face mask, the defensive lineman by the face mask.
Yeah.
So if you're going to say it wasn't in the grass, you should have kept the play going, saying got away. The retort to that would be he only got away because the OSU lineman pulled the Indiana guy off by his face mask.
Right.
So
yeah.
so in that case, you take the face mask penalty. The only thing is you don't lose the down.
Yeah, that was another point that I had in this game. Another reason why it looked like two of the best teams in the country, high quality football, both sides. It was not decided really by penalties or review, like, and that stuff, like by refs, which is great because it was just really high quality football. Like there was the one fourth down thing. It was clear that he was down like before he made the yard because like they showed the knee on there. So that was a great call. And Ohio State only had 2 penalties, I think, all game. So like that was, that was, it's always good when that happened. That makes it a better football game.
Yeah. So that saying his knee hitting the ground before they get the first down on that quarterback sneak. So I have a note here saying Ohio State just couldn't, they got to the red zone and they just weren't converting red zone possessions into not into touchdowns. They're twice they don't even convert it to points at all, right? They miss a field goal. They turn it over on downs. So again, that's a testament to the defense. To your point that they quote unquote were letting them play. I had a thought about that because both coaches were screaming for holding penalties all game long.
Yes, they were.
My thought was if they were calling it tighter, this would have been just flags all game long because it seemed as though neither offensive line had any answer for either defensive line.
No, I agree. I'm glad the way it was reffed because the defensive lines were chewing the offensive lines apart. Like it absolutely, those, like you said, you called it, like they really were the 2 stars of the game. It's the Indiana defensive line and Ohio State defensive line. And if they called it any worse, it would have been a flag on every play, and then it would have been it would have been less offense than what we had, which was 13-10.
Right.
So not that that's a reason to call certain things a certain way, but like, I thought it was a good balance of, trying to give the offense a chance but it's just the defensive, like there's monsters on both sides of the line.
Oh yeah.
That were just killing them.
There's any NFL team who needs some defensive line picks in this year or next year, there's plenty coming out. I
feel like there's 8 from this game, but it's the
Kenyatta Jackson Jr. on Ohio State, completely unblockable. There's just nothing they could do with that guy.
No.
There's just, I mean, I could name, I could go down the list, but it's everybody. Everybody on both teams. They were just completely dominant.
No, they absolutely were. And hats off to Indiana. Like obviously Signetti's done an amazing job. He deserves that extension. It's the first time they're 13-0, I think, ever. But what's also just as important as all that is that some of the games last year and previous years, it was clear when Indiana got to high quality competition, they just didn't have the dudes to like hang, and the athletes in those games, and they do now. Like they absolutely do. Like this again, they're both defensive lines like were studs, and they didn't always use it was a long time they didn't have people like that. Remember when Indiana was a really good offense and couldn't get the defense like at all? Like that wasn't that long ago.
Well, and the thing is, the reason I think both these teams just ending up in the finals is because defense gets you there. Defense is like this good. Defense is this good can get you there.
Yeah, and when you have to have it, like a field goal or a touchdown, Fernando Mendoza can get it for you. Charlie Becker can get it for you. Jeremiah Smith can absolutely get it for you, and so can Sayin.
Yeah, I have a note here. So I think it's in the second half. Sayin throws a really nice back shoulder to Smith, and I thought, oh yeah, I thought, why isn't he doing this more often?
That's like what I was thinking.
It just seems like he is, because him and Pons, their broadcast kept saying they were high school teammates. Now Pons gives away 50 pounds and like 5 inches to Smith. It's unbelievable. And Pons is a draft pick, is a high round draft pick.
Yeah,
we were on that guy a couple of years ago. He's really, really good. Now Smith, he's so much bigger than him, and that is going to be an NFL corner.
Yes,
and I can't believe that somewhere in their offense isn't. You know what? Forget this. Let's just throw it to him and have him just out jump the guy.
Yes.
Whatever. Now I know that sometimes they have 2 guys bracketing him, maybe sometimes even 3. So, and it's not like he's just man to man where you just keep throwing back shoulders. But he's just so overwhelmingly bigger than everybody out there. It's shocking to me. And he still went for 144 yards. I'm just amazed he couldn't go for more.
Yeah.
And if there was a bit more Brett Favre in Julian Sayin, maybe he would have been gunslinging it a bit. I mean, Sayin is precise.
Yes.
He's buttoned up. I mean, he's young to be as precise and as buttoned up as he already is. And whatever he's seeing in the defense, he seems to be making the correct calls basically every time. And when they confused him, it took him a bit longer to find where it belonged, and that's how he kept getting sacked. But he was, I guess what I'm trying to say is there's less gunslinger in him to just be like, oh no, my guys are better, I'm just throwing it.
Yeah, no, they have a very specific game plan, which is like, don't turn it over. We're going to run the ball. We're going to pass, keep the defense honest, and our defense is awesome. Like it's a smart game plan because he's young too, right? So it's not, so like all that's great. I thought, and you're right, there were times where Jeremiah Smith was double covered. There was a lot of times where he wasn't, where it was just one-on-one. In any route I felt like he ran, he was open. So I was with you. I thought at the beginning of the game, I'm like, oh man, this could get ugly. Like, I don't think anyone could stop him. So I think it was, hats off to Indiana for at least mixing up the defense, taking it away sometimes, like, and keeping them guessing, because that match, it looked like a mismatch that you could have really taken advantage of.
Yeah, I think it's extra hats off to the IU defensive coordinator.
Absolutely.
Calling what seems to look like some risky coverages in those specific cases, but he confused Sayin just enough to slow him down, just enough for him to take just too long before he felt comfortable letting it go to his number 1 or number 2 targets. And at that point, he's kind of running, trying to make something happen. So I guess it almost is like it was the perfect game plan against Sayin and his weapons you can't stop them completely, but you just got to slow him down enough to be unsure of what he's doing.
Yeah, I think that you're absolutely right. It was the Indiana defensive coordinator game plan and specifically the scripts, like the defenses he drew up for specific plays and situations was amazing, because Ohio State, you're not going to stop Ohio State from getting yards, but they held him to 10 points. Like that is amazing. And it was, and it's crazy to think that you contained Smith to 8 catches for 144 yards, but that's exactly what they did. He didn't have a touchdown, and they contained Bo Jackson to 83 yards, no touchdowns. Like and they won the game.
And towards the end of the third quarter and in the fourth, when Ohio State's what looked like adjustments on offense were working, they go 12 plays, 70 yards, but that's when they turn it over on downs.
Yep.
And then they go 81 plays and miss the field goal. Or 81 yards on 15 plays and missed the field goal.
That's
so
crazy.
They were finally had a way to move the ball.
Yeah.
And they come away with nothing. in both trips to the red zone. So that's to me, that's actually the whole difference in the game, is coming up empty on both of those. And then I guess to cap it all off was you having the balls to throw that pass to Becker to end the game.
And that was right there. Like that was an amazing pass. It was a risky pass. It was the perfect pass, and you can't defend that. And it was, and that's absolutely what nailed the game for them. No, and again, the last note I had here is that this is all about the defenses, and Indiana had 5 sacks and 9 tackles for a loss, and that's what the difference was. Like they were able to get to him, and that was which was just enough.
Yeah, I used defense, found a way, obviously a little bit of luck with the missed field goal, but found a way to get Ohio State to come up empty on 2 long drives at the end of the game. And then their offense found a way to close the game out and never. I mean, they gave the ball back, but not, whatever it was, 18 seconds. They essentially closed the game out specifically with that one big pass. So they did what it took to close out a game here. And like we always say, winning's a skill. And I think Ohio State has that skill, but Indiana definitely has that skill. Like they know how to finish off a game.
You're absolutely right. Like that was great. And we talked before we did a review of the brackets, which was just released. And there's some repeats of games that I don't really have much interest in seeing again, like Alabama, Oklahoma. But if it was Indiana, Ohio State in the championship game, I would love that.
Yeah, it would be fun to see a rematch for sure. Yeah. And that seems, if they keep playing defense like this, they're probably going to be there.
Yep.
All right, well, that's all I got. You got anything else on your notes?
No, that's it for me.
All right, well, if you're still with us, we appreciate you checking out the channel. We know it's small. We just started it last year. So if you like what we have going on and you'd like to support us, a like and a subscribe would go a long way, and we'd super appreciate it. So for Jeff Dover, I'm John Barber, and that's your Saturday versus Sunday podcast.